What up? This is Law Maitreya with the Super Longevity Institute. Today's episode is called Study and Be Wise in These Days Times. Study and be wise in these days times. Of course, I got a bunch of books. Man, I've been paying attention to the news, current events. It's not looking good out here, and we're not prepared. The hip hoppers, we're not prepared. We need to get prepared. We need to study, stock up on the things we need. We need to get into hydroponic growing. We need to learn how to grow our own food hydroponically, because most of us dwell in the city. We dwell in the inner city. We're not in the suburbs. Yeah, we need water filtration systems. Libraries in our home. We need to know how to use firearms and self-defense. Period. Okay. The first book I want to introduce to y'all is called, this is one of my favorites too, The Scientific Conquest of Death. Essays on Infinite Lifespans. Yeah, we're going there. We're going there. We're trying to live as long as possible and as healthy as possible. And these are the essays by a bunch of different people. First person is Michael Rose. We got Abidi the Great, PhD. Michael West, PhD. Raymond Kurzweil, PhD. And the late, great Marvin Minsky, PhD. Let me read some of them. You know how I do. You know the format. Let me read the back. 19 scientists, doctors, and philosophers share their perspective on what is arguably the most significant scientific development that humanity has ever faced: the eradication of aging and mortality. This anthology is both a gentle introduction to the multitude of cutting-edge scientific developments and a thoughtful, multidisciplinary discussion of the ethics, politics, and philosophy behind the scientific conquest of death. Wow. To live in our lives and improve our minds in the future, we will need to change our bodies and brains. To that end, we first must consider how normal Darwin evolution brought us to where we are. Then we must imagine ways in which future replacements for worn body parts might solve most problems of failing health. We must then invent strategies to augment our brains and gain greater wisdom. Eventually, we will entirely replace our brains using nanotechnology. Once delivered from the limitations of biology, we will be able to decide the length of our lives with the option of immortality and choose among other unimagined capabilities as well. I want to read something. That was the late Marvin Minsky. He's probably in Alcor, in Alcor right now. You know, Alcor is the largest crowd preservation organization in the world. He's probably in liquid nitrogen and a dua. Remember, I taught you what a dua is. Dua is where they place bodies in suspended animation. Okay, that was Marvin Minsky, and he was one of the great AI guys that helped set up the MIT lab for artificial intelligence. Then we got Michael Rose. Some of the evolutionary biologists. These are the scientists that will help, that hip hoppers need to help aid in a fight to reverse the aging process. They're gonna need our help. You know what I'm saying? Some of the deepest prejudice of professional biologists concerning immortality are certainly false. Aging is not universal. There are organisms that are biologically immortal. I'm gonna get into that. I'm gonna do a whole episode. I'm gonna get into that because y'all don't. A lot of people are not studying this. They don't know. That was a statement by the great Michael Rose, PhD, evolutionary biologist. Okay, PhD. These are not your street corner dudes that talking about I got it. They ain't got nothing. Aubrey de Grey, PhD, possibly the most absurd of the arguments opposing the search for care of human aging is that to extend our lifespans indefinitely would be unnatural, would render us in some sense no longer human. I regard this view as uniquely absurd. Aubrey de Grey, PhD, I agree. Michael West, PhD, still resident in a human body are potential heirs of our immortal legacy, cells that have the potential to have no dead ancestors, cells from a lineage called the germ line. These cells have the ability for immortal renewal as demonstrated by the fact that babies are born young, and those babies have the potential someday to make their own babies, and so forth and so on. Michael West, PhD. Remember, that's the guy right there that did the forward to the Times Project. That forward was amazing. And he wrote the book Immortal Cell. Go get that. Put that on your shelf. Be wise. Study in these crazy times. Be wise. Study. Raymond Kurzweil, inventor, AI guy, wrote The Singularity is Near. Create the Kurzweil keyboard that Stevie Wonder used, and a lot of the reggae artists use. I have a Kurzweil keyboard. Do I still have it? Yeah, it's in the cloud. I got a Kurzweil keyboard myself. I hope to work with him one day, maybe to build a boombox. Maybe we could collaborate and build a new version of the boombox, Ray Kurzweil. Anyway, let me move on. We are rapidly growing more intimate with our technology. Computers started out as a large remote machines in air-conditioned rooms, tended by white-coated technicians. Subsequently, they moved onto our desks, then under our arms, and now in our pockets. Soon, we will routinely put them inside our bodies and brains. Ultimately, we become more non-biological than biological. Raymond Kurzweil, PhD. Woo. The Scientific Conquest of Death, essays on infinite lifespan. There's no book like this. I'm putting y'all on to stuff you never see. Okay, it doesn't get to us. Anyway, moving right along. This is a cultural thing. This is some cultural knowledge. For the young boys and girls that don't know. This is called the Ghetto Brothers, warriors to peacemakers. These are the brothers that really this predates hip hop, and this is what the gang truce in the South, in the Bronx, when one of the Ghetto Brothers, I think his name is Black Benji, who was the Ghetto Brothers was the only quote unquote organization / street organization that had a peacemaker that went around and tried to broker peace. He was murdered, and so at the Boys and Girls Club, they brokered the peace between all the gangs that led to hip hop, because now you could travel without having to have all these problems. You could travel through different territories. You couldn't do that back in the day. Bambaataa attended that. Okay. Yeah. Rest in peace to Black Benji. I got a song about him too. All right. Never forget Black Benji. Never forget the Ghetto Brothers. Matter of fact, I'm gonna read this. Engrossing the counter view of one of the most dangerous elements of American urban history is this graphic novel tells the story of Benji Melendez, son of a Puerto Rican immigrants who founded, at the end of the 1960s, notorious Ghetto Brothers gang. From seemingly bombed out ravages of his neighborhood, ragged by drugs, poverty, violence, he managed to extract incredibly positive energy from his riot-ridden era. His multi-racial gang promoted peace rather than violence. After initiating a gang truce, the Ghetto Boys held weekly concerts on the streets or in abandoned buildings, which fostered the emergence of hip-hop. Melendez also began to reclaim his Jewish roots after learning about his family crypto Jewish background. Melendez. Yeah, Melendez was one of the founders of the Ghetto Brothers, and he passed away. He was, his face. He was a Jewish. He was Jewish, and Puerto Rican Jewish cat from the Bronx, who organized the gang truce in the Bronx. All right, after Black Benji got killed. All right. The gang truce back in the early 70s with Brother Benji, with all the major street organizations, was powerful. It was a time to put down the weapons against each other and try to organize. It was deep. It was powerful. We were all in the same gang. Tribal warfare. That's all gangs are, tribal warfare. And that will lead me to the next following book. Go get that, Ghetto Brothers. If it wasn't for this piece of history, we wouldn't have hip hop. Okay? The anatomy, the Zulu nation, the Zulu Army, from Shaka to Setshel Oyo, 1818-1879. The anatomy of the Zulu Army. Yeah, we need to read military books. Yeah, I'm not afraid to say that. We need to learn how militaries are built. We need to study what the military is about. We need to study all of that. All of that needs to be on our shelf. All right, that's why I picked Zulu Army. Also because hip hop had a strong organization that was on every. It was in every country until a scandal happened. Where's the people that's going to protect us? You know what I'm saying? The Pope got the what is that? The Swedish Army. I think it was the Swiss Guard. Excuse me, the Swiss Guard. Where's hip hop school? Where's hip hop Swiss Guard? We need one too, especially if we're going to rise to self-government and become a city-state. Where's our Swiss Guard, right? Zulu Nation was supposed to be that until they got into the scandal. They had bases in every country. Now they're this fanboy club. And I don't care who don't like what I say. You know what I'm saying? Because, every time I look, there's another hip-hopper dying in the streets. Today I looked at the news, another hip hopper got shot and killed. Okay? By a gang. So I'm really starting to get tired of it. It's not gonna stop until we stop it. Go cop this book. The Anatomy of the Zulu Army, from Shaka to Setshel Oyo, 1818-1879. Yeah. All hip hoppers should know about this, especially with our history. Okay, today I seen something that kind of disturbed me. The UN, I don't know, I have to fact check this, but I think it's correct. The UN is putting out a warning, saying that there might be food shortages and famine. I know you like to drink and stuff like that, but we need to put that aside. We need to be growing our own food. We need to start getting into our own food production. We need to take it from the 7 companies that control our food supply, and we need to start controlling our food supply and taking these buildings and turning it into vertical farming. Vertical farming, okay? Feeding the world in the 21st century. Get this book. We need to start growing our own food. We need to take control of our own food production. Hip hoppers. We need to take control of our own food production now. All this podcasting, talking to your stuff. These celebrities, I'm starting to get really. I'm not into the celebrity worshiping. I'm telling you, I don't care how much money you have. I don't worship nobody. I'm not gonna kiss the feet that you walk on. I respect your work. It was great. You're doing great work. You're usually a celebrity to do something good and empower people. That's something different. You're all interviewing yourselves about old stories that we have heard already. You're creating businesses what's going to have to happen is I'm going to have to get a group of people. We're going to have to do this ourselves because we can't depend on y'all. We can't depend on y'all. We need to get in control of our own food supply. Super Longevity advises every hip hop to be growing something that they can eat. They need to be growing a couple of things in their own apartment. We need to be growing stuff. We could do it. We could do it. But this is about feeding the world. Vertical farming book. This is about how we're gonna feed the world and how we're gonna end starvation. Also, nobody should starve enough. No one. No one on the planet, whether they're hip hop or not, should starve. Anyway, I'm gonna read the back. Imagine a world where every city has its own local food source, grown in the safest way possible, where no drop of water or particle of light is wasted, and where a simple elevator ride can transport you to nature's grocery store. Imagine a world of vertical farm. When Columbia Professor Dickinson set out to solve America's food, water, and energy crisis, he didn't think big, he thought up. In Vertical Farm, he passionately explains the incredible impact of urban agriculture and how it will change the face of the planet for future generations. With this groundbreaking book, he has quickly become the central figure in what could be worldwide revolution. Vertical farming, feeding the world in the 21st century. Get this book. Let's get it. Let's get it. Study and be wise in these days of time. All right. I kind of did one a little. I got another book. I know there's a lot of books. That's how we do here. Agents of Repression, the FBI's secret war against the Black Panther Party and the American Indian movement. You know, that's the fireworks outside. These guys are blowing up fireworks outside. It's close to July 4th. I don't know if you can hear it, but it's loud. Anyway, yeah. I didn't buy this book. I took this from my ex-wife. She ain't gonna know that until she sees this. Gotcha. You wasn't doing anything with it anyway. Come on now. Not about that life. Anyway. From the Red Scare of 1919-1920 to the McCarthy period of the 1950s to the COINTELPRO counterintelligence program era of the 1960s, the Federal Bureau of Investigation has operated primarily as America's political police. Set against the background, the complex of FBI operations conducted against the Black Panther Party and the American Indian movement, including murder, kidnapping, and a range of other illegal activities, provides a shocking indictment of lawfulness of the law enforcers. We're seeing that today. And they think that just reform is going to help. Reform. We're going to reform the police. Yeah, all right. Contrary to official announcement that COINTELPRO type activities ended in 1971, Churchill and Van der Waal demonstrate that the FBI not only continued them, but in some cases actually increased their levels of intensity and violence. Agents of Repression concludes with consideration of recent FBI attempts to disrupt or destroy the Puerto Rican independence movement and the Central America sanctuary and solidarity movements. Yeah. Agents of Repression the FBI secret wars against the Black Panther Party and the American Indian movement. War Churchill and Jim Van Der Waal. Get this book. Why? Because we know what COINTELPRO is about. J. Edgar Hoover was the head of the FBI. Everybody should know his name. He was head of the Federal Bureau of Investigation. And they did all types of stuff to what they call neutralize all these political organizations like the Black Panther movement. They try to wiretap. They wiretap MLK, planning stuff on people. Did all types of stuff, man. And hip hop needs to be aware of what they did. Actually, they took the fathers out of the community. Because they thought the women weren't strong enough to raise the family. That's what they did also. Okay, they don't write about that part. I can go on and on about what COINTELPRO is about, man. They did. The FBI did they did dirt. Okay. Um, when we're talking about hip hop city statehood, um, we need to know about these things because not everybody wants to see hip hop become its own city state, and not everybody wants to see uh, human beings reach a time where um, they'll have super long lives. Not everybody, they're not feeling that. And so people create all types of excuses like population control. I mean, I guess is a genuine question for an ignorant person, but you know, the same technology that we use to reverse the aging process can be used to end scarcity, right? If you use nanotechnology, which one of the sciences I believe will take us to a point where we reverse the aging process. Anyway, um, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Okay, I hope you go out and get some of these books and study and be wise in these days of time. Take care of your family. Try to grow your own food. Stock up on all the things you need. Don't wait till the last minute. Hit the gun rage. Um, Go out and do calisthenics. Keep your health together and eat healthy and meditate and take care of your loved ones. Um, Now you know what I'm gonna say now. Comment, like, subscribe, and hit the notification button. It helps the channel to grow. Bro, I'm Loma Trey with the Super Longevity Institute. Single I salute. One love.